So you're either starting a weight loss journey, or you're struggling with your progress, or maybe you plateaued and you don't know where to go next. Or maybe you've hit your goals and you're wondering, how the hell do I maintain this for the rest of my life? Well, stick around because I have 10 tips that are gonna help you on your journey no matter where you're at. And particularly stick around for the last one because it's probably the most important and it's not one you would normally think about. I am Jeremy, and I lost half my body weight. So I know from experience that it's hard as hell to get it off, but keeping it off is a whole other ballpark.
Ain't the same fucking ballpark. It ain't the same league. It ain't even the same fucking sport.
Or whatever Samuel Jackson would say. But before we jump in, I would love you to comment below and let me know where you're at on your weight loss journey. What's been the hardest part so far? Are you stuck somewhere? Are you challenged by something? Frustrated? What's helped you the most or held you back? And if at any point in this video you like the video, hit the like button and stuff, and subscribe for more content like this. Now to the tips. This one's kinda simple, and it makes sense. The biggest culprits are things like juices, alcohol obviously, fancy coffees. Smoothies are usually okay because they're packed with fiber, especially if you make them yourself. But if you're buying them from a juicery or a restaurant or something, just make sure they don't have tons of added sugar packed with them. It's not uncommon for them to throw in some extra sweeteners. Why? I don't know. Fruit is delicious. It's so sweet. Stop adding sugar to smoothies, please. Liquid without fiber doesn't keep you full. In fact, it often makes you hungrier. So stick to things like water, black coffee, tea. Avoid or limit everything else. And if you're hungry, just drink some water or tea. You'd be surprised how much liquid will fill you up when you think you're actually hungry. I'm in the middle of a juice cleanse right now, and I'm kind of shocked by how not hungry I am because I'm constantly drinking and my belly's full. Liquid is your friend, just make sure it's not loaded with unnecessary calories. This one is probably not a shock because the channel is called Plant-Based with Jeremy. If you need a snack, load up on vegetables or fruit. If you're hungry and you don't want an apple or some baby carrots, guess what? You're probably not actually hungry. You're bored. Do a crossword, go for a walk, pet your dog, write a comment in this video, do something else. And when it comes to meals, use the 50-50 method, which just means that half your plate is non-starchy vegetables and fruit. These things are very low in calories, but they're high in density, which means that they fill you up. More food makes you feel more full, but it's less in calories. And if you want to get super serious about weight loss, the next tip is a game changer. I know you don't want to hear this, especially if you're not plant-based or vegan already. But it's not just meat, it's things like dairy, eggs, fish, seafood. Did I miss anything? No, I got it. And yes, you can get enough nutrients on a plant-based or vegan diet, as long as you're eating like more of a whole food balanced diet. Fast food vegan's not healthy. So if that's what you're talking about when you're complaining in the comments about how veganism is bad for you, you're not talking about me. I eat a balanced, healthy diet full of lots of great stuff.
I'm just gonna eat the whole thing. You guys have anything else to do?
A well-balanced whole food plant-based diet has all the fat, proteins, and carbs and other nutrients that your body needs. And longevity studies have proven that eating a whole food plant-based diet will literally add years to your life. If you're not ready to cut out animal products completely, I totally get it. Just reduce them. Use them as the topping on top of your meals and whatnot. One of the main reasons to do this is the next step. Every single food on the planet has a caloric unit associated with it. Even when you eat a whole food plant-based diet, you have to understand which foods have a higher caloric density and which ones have a lower one. So things like nuts and seeds and avocados and other fats, you need to eat less of those things. Things like fruits and non-starchy vegetables, it's almost impossible to gain weight and overeat on those. So if your goal is to lose weight, you really want to keep an eye on those fats. So things like nuts should be no more than a quarter cup a day. A serving of an avocado is like a quarter of an avocado. And then you also want to reduce your processed grain products, things like bread, crackers, bagels, muffins, dry cereal, cookies, cakes. Even if these things are coming from a whole grain source, because these things are processed, they use more of them, so more calories. Now, of course, you don't have to avoid them entirely. Just make sure they're from a whole grain source and eat them in moderation. This leads us to my next tip. Oil is pure fat and stripped of its nutrients. You don't need it or want it. You might want it. I get it. A lot of people are like, I love my oil on my dressings and my things. But in terms of baking or cooking, you don't. I have another video on the channel that I'll link to later on that'll show you why you don't need it in your cooking or your baking and how to replace it. The bottom line is that all fat is calorically dense, but oil is even worse. It's the biggest culprit because every tablespoon, which is this, that's a tablespoon, is 100 calories. Check out this little image to see what other foods are 100 calories. What do you want, that or this thing? Come on. And fat tastes great, I get it. Fat is flavor, I've heard that before. Just make sure your fat is coming from a whole source, like avocados, olives, nuts, seeds. And just keep it to limited portions, especially if you're trying to lose weight. Don't give in to all or nothing thoughts. If you got a flat tire on the highway, you wouldn't grab a knife and go around and stab all the other tires. I know that sounds silly, but that's literally what people do with their diets all the time. If you eat something you shouldn't, that's fine. Use the next meal to get back on track. It doesn't have to derail you for the entire day. If you make a mistake, forgive yourself, move on. Which brings me directly to our next tip. Be patient and celebrate all the little long steps along the way. Seriously, the fact that you're even watching this video means you're looking to make a change in your life, and that makes you super duper awesome. Talk to yourself the way you would talk to a friend who is doing this. Be supportive, be kind, be loving, and find ways to reward yourself that aren't food related. Little things that add joy to your life, like going for a long walk, having a bath, reading a book, playing video games, board games. I don't know what you do. What do you do? What do you like to do that's super fun that's not food related? Let me know in the comments below. I like board games and video games. What's your favorite board game? Just get out and move. Aim for at least 30 minutes of moderate activity every single day. Even if it's just walking, just walk at a brisk pace. Brisk is fast. It means you're moving, you're bustling along. And if you're at a place where you can take it to the next level, work on some resistance training because muscles burn more calories than fat does. Do some yoga, do some high intensity interval training if you're at that level. Power yoga is one of my favorite things to do because it's kind of intense, but kind of not. YouTube is packed with great workout videos and people that will teach you how to do these kind of movements, and they don't necessarily require extra equipment. Maybe a little exercise mat or a yoga mat, but that's about it. Most of these things you can do from home, and they don't cost you a penny, other than the internet fees that you pay. Those cost money, I guess, but it's all bundled together. Don't get hangry. I used to get hangry all the time. Eat until you're comfortably full, and that's it. Oh, my bread's ready. I gotta knead my bread.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Eat when you're hungry and until you're comfortably full. Don't starve yourself, don't stuff yourself. Forget about stuff like 3 meals a day. Not everyone is built differently. I meant to say not everyone's built the same. Built differently doesn't make any sense. All right, back to the video. So some people can survive on 3 meals a day or 2 meals a day, and some people need a lot of small meals throughout the day. You probably know you better than anyone else, so forget any of those other advice about how much you should be eating, when you should be eating, and listen to your body. You're more likely to mess up and make bad choices when you're over hungry, so don't let yourself get to that place. Last but not least, and this one is so simple and effective, and it literally just takes you a minute or two every single day. I want you to start listing your intentions. Number 1, how do you plan to show up today? What's your attitude gonna be? Number 2, what does success look like for you today? Keep it manageable, keep it realistic. Maybe it's just not having dessert. Maybe it's not having the extra piece of chocolate. Whatever it is, keep it realistic. It doesn't matter what it is, just put that in your mindset for the beginning of the day, and that's your goal for the day. And number 3, what can you do today that will bring you some extra joy? And bonus points if it's not food related. That's it. Doing those 3 things at the start of the day will keep you focused. I hope you found these tips helpful. If there's anything that I didn't list that's been helpful for you, let others know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you want to watch that oil video I talked about, it's right here. Thanks.